Welcome back to my favorite video that I do. This is the video where I actually show what I invested into last month. Then we'll go through an entirely new list of cards and products that I'm trying to invest into this month, so that way we're all actually investing and collecting together. I'm never going to tell you to buy something that I wouldn't actually buy myself. And we are going to do a little giveaway today. I'll show you guys the cards here in a second. But all you have to do, enter the giveaway, is make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell. You got to hit that like, and then I want you to comment your favorite fire Pokemon. And I do have to announce the winner from last Sunday's giveaway, and it is at pokebeardtcg. So just shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram and I'll get those cards sent out to you. And for anybody else who's still waiting for their cards, I got a big pile here that I'm going to send out the next time I leave the house. But before I show you what I got last month and the giveaway cards, we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is BCW. These guys are absolute goats in the hobby, and they've been around for a very, very long time. I've been using them for comics, cards, and even my coin collection. I have a pretty crazy coin collection that I've used a lot of their products for, but they're the best when it comes to protecting, storing, and displaying your cards or collectibles. They got stuff for comics, cards, gaming, memorabilia, coins and currency, music, photos. Like even if you got, a signed basketball or something, they got a case for it. But when it comes to cards, they have over 250 different items. They got really nice zip-up binders. They got so many products that will just help you stay organized. So definitely check them out. I have all the links in the description. And then if you use the code PokeBeard at checkout, you receive 10% off your entire order. And then there's free shipping on orders $99 or more. So definitely check them out. And I did just drop my brand new merch for the very first time. We got the binder bound t-shirt, and we got the hoodie. We got the PB on the coffee cup. You guys know I'm a massive binder collection, and this is the perfect hoodie or t-shirt for any card collector. It doesn't even have to be Pokemon. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description for that. But all right, let's see what I picked up last month, and we'll check out those giveaway cards. All right, let's start off with the giveaway cards. So like I said, we're doing two, one for a subscriber and one for a member. So each person gets a Japanese Tyranitar art rare. As you guys know, I have like 100 of those. Next, we got the Slither Wing illustration rare. Each person gets one of those. Next, we have the Surfing Pikachu V card from Celebrations. Each person gets one of those. And the last card is the Pikachu Full Art from Celebrations also. Each person gets one of those. All right, so these are the cards that I picked up this month. So a bunch of regular promos. Tornadus, EV Sealed, Ens Reshiram, Magneton, Peturant. And then we even got two of the Bulbasaur Mega Evolution box toppers. I'm going super heavy on all the box toppers because we only have two so far. And it just so happens to be, I think they are actually some of the best promos that we've gotten so far. I mean, the Ens Reshiram and the Bulbasaur are both crazy. Next, I picked up a Chinese exclusive Leafeon. Not too bad. It's not perfectly centered, but it's really minty on the back to where I feel like it has a chance at a 10, but you never know. Next, these are some of the cards that I got at Card Party. I was looking for Chinese exclusives, couldn't find a ton of them, so I ended up buying first edition Shadowless cards like I always do. But this is the Electabuzz non-holo rare, first edition Shadowless base set. We got the Pidgeotto. The Electabuzz was 50, obviously. Pidgeotto was 95. And we got a first edition base set holo Poliwrath for $300. So for $300, I know Poliwrath isn't the most popular, but you can get a holo card from first edition Shadowless base set, the very first English set ever printed from Wizards of the Coast. So I just think that is super cool, and I'm always grabbing those whenever I can. Next, we got a Pokemon Center Alakazam promo. I got this for $100. The guy wanted like 110 or something like that because the lowest listed was at like 110. But if you check the recently sold, they were selling at like 90 to 100. So we did a little flip. But yeah, I just think this is one of the cooler Pokemon Center ETB promos. And I needed to get one guaranteed for my collection anyways. So I figured I'd pick one up. But I really hope this thing gets cheaper because this thing is sick. Picked up another Iron Thorns, another Tornadus, and another Thunderous Pokemon Center ETB promos. And I got this sweet vintage card. This is the Junior Rally Entei. These are some of the coolest cards in Pokemon history, in my opinion. If you take all of them, there's not very many of them, and you take all the pictures and add them together, it makes the sickest combined picture ever. And I got this for a good deal, a couple $100. They're going up in price right now, and they're getting tougher and tougher to find. But there's like a Mewtwo, a Lugia, a Pichu. Like there's some crazy guys in there for sure. And then for cards, I also bought a massive collection for vending, but it's not actually here right now. It's on the way. So I was a little disappointed that I couldn't show you guys that. But let's see what else I picked up. I got a couple more of the Chinese Gem Pack Volume 2 booster boxes. Now I'm going to say this, every time I mention the Chinese boxes, make sure you get them from a legit seller. A ton of people are faking these right now, like a ton of people. So keep your eye out for that for sure. And then I got this at Card Party. I'm just going to shout them out, but TCA Gaming, Rusty, gave this to me. One of the nicest people I have ever met in this entire hobby. I was going to buy it from him, and he actually surprised me with it. So definitely go check out TCA Gaming's channel. He's the only person that I know for a fact his collection just blows mine out of the water. Like, I got a ton of stuff, but I know for a fact he's got some crazy stuff. He's even having my statue guy make him a life-size Snorlax, Lapras, Charizard, Charmander, Charmeleon. Like, he's having him do some crazy stuff. So yeah, shout out to Rusty. He is a goat for sure. Next, someone sent me this. Gotta hide the shipping stuff here. And it came with a loose pack, which my wife already opened up. We didn't get anything. But it says, thank you, Tucker, at the Hidden Potion. I think they have an online shop or something. But he heard that I have not opened Inferno X yet, so he sent me a sealed booster box, which me and my wife are going to open up later today. Very excited for that, because I really, really want that Japanese Charizard. Next, I got 2 more Glory of Team Rocket booster boxes. I got these for $80 each. Pretty good deal. Got them when I was vending. Someone had like 50 of them, but they were all dented. So I don't know what happened. He was so busy I didn't even ask him, but he only had 2 minty ones, so I just bought the 2 minty ones off of him. All right, what else do we got? We got a Battle Styles booster box that I got for a crazy good deal. One sec. Yep, we got a Battle Styles. I got this for $235 or something like that. Not too bad. I'm not going to buy a ton of Battle Styles, but it was a decent deal. And I really feel like the set is pretty underrated. I mean, the Urshifus in there are sick, and then it has that Sleepy T-Tower, which is worth a good amount of money. And I also got one more Mega Evolution booster box. One of the enhanced ones. And I got 2 cards here that I forgot about. I got a Digimon card. This is a Japanese promo of Omnimon. Been playing the new Digimon game. It is sick. I also found this Chinese Dragonair card. I'm not sure where it's from, but I haven't seen it before. And I do buy every single Dragonair card that's ever been printed. I'm pretty sure I have the biggest Dragonair collection in the world. Not 100% sure. Let me know if anybody does have a crazy Dragonair collection. Next, speaking of Dragonair, I got this super sick Dragonair Jumbo. That thing is epic. Really obsessed with that. I'm definitely going to have that on display. All right, and the last 2 things that I got another Dragonair thing, because I already have the coin, but I didn't have like the actual case, so I thought that was a super cool pickup. Like I said, I'm just getting anything Dragonair. So the last thing on the list we got is from the Collectr Coffee Company, which is who I partnered with to make my merch. They have the Sip and Slab boxes where it actually comes with coffee, comes with a random graded card, which this was a 10, I already took it out, and came with a graded guard and a couple t-shirts. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Thank you for sending that out, and definitely go check them out for sure. But yeah, that was everything that I got this month. Kind of a random pickup, to be honest. I feel like we got a little bit of everything. But all right, it is time to go through the new list of Pokemon cards and products. All right, let's check out the list. So it's going to be a little bit different today since so many things are starting to come down in price. This is more of a list of stuff that I am going to be watching like a hawk, and I'm just going to watch it go all the way down and bottom out and level out, and then I'm going to buy a ton of them. So starting off, this is a little bit more for my personal collection. Some of these more expensive special illustration rares that I haven't picked up yet, I'm definitely going to pick them up the next time, a lot of these come down in price. Especially, Prismatic Evolutions, I really haven't bought any special illustration rares from Prismatic just because I felt they were so expensive. Jolteon and Flareon, not too bad, honestly. Market price $160-ish. I'd probably pick them up at $120, $130 or something like that, or maybe if I get them in a big collection and get a good deal. But I've been holding off on a ton of these more expensive special illustration rares and stuff. So hopefully, they come down in price a decent amount so we have another chance to pick them up. especially these newer ones. I do have like the Bubble Mew, and I did get the Greninja right away because that was pretty cheap. But I missed out on Pikachu, you know, like I said, all of Prismatic. I got all 151 done. I don't have any of the new big ones from Black Bolt or White Flare. I did get the Ethan's Ho-Oh, good buddy of mine, who's been a, you know, super big fan of the channel and has been supporting me for a very long time, bought me that at Card Party. So thank you, Brad, for that. That meant a ton. And then, yeah, Mega Evolution too. I don't have anything for that. All right, now a little more on the investing side, because I already have all these promos, but the Evolution promos, they're going down in price right now. Vaporeon was over $100. We got sales in the 80s. You know, all the other guys now are in the 60s. And same thing for some of these cards, like the Charizard V-Star, V-Max, and V-Card. I do have a bunch of these, not a ton, but like the Charizard V-Max, this was a $65 card. Market price now $35. So if these get down to like 20-something bucks, I'm definitely going to pick up at least a couple more sets for sure. I got a ton of the Greninjas. I mean, if that gets really cheap, I'd pick up a few more, I guess, but I got a good amount of those. I really think these gold cards from the Celebrations UPC are pretty slept on. Market price for that, $19. I'll definitely pick up more of that. That's about it for the Sword and Shield. I actually do like these cards too, the Cramorant and the Pikachu Japanese promos. They're pretty sick. If they drop in price a decent amount, I'll definitely pick them up. Same thing with the Special Delivery Charizard, Special Delivery Pikachu. Those are really cool cards. Next, Pokemon Center ETB promos. Of course, these are going to be on the list. I've been buying these a ton. As you guys seen, we just went through a few of them now. But yeah, if these get down anymore, I'm definitely going to pick up a bunch. Other cards I'm looking at, the Eevee EX from Prismatic. You know, a lot of these regular ETB promos, I'm definitely going to be grabbing them too. As you've seen, I just grabbed a bunch of them now. You know, the Mewtwo's at $29. We were buying those at $1. I want to say I still have maybe 30, 40 of those left. Snorlax, I got a bunch of those still. Where are these cheaper cards? So like the Mimikyu, the Eevee, the Magneton. You know, if these get down to just $1 or $2 a card, I am definitely going to be buying a ton of them. Like a ton of them. Just like I did with, you know, all the 151 UPC promos and Greninja Gold Star and stuff like that. So yeah, I love when promos come down in price. Especially, you know, they're pretty tough to grade. So if you buy a bunch of them, you're eventually going to get a few of them that are going to be PSA 10 quality. So yeah, I'm definitely picking up a bunch of those. Like I said, a little more on the investment side. I just love picking up those cheap promos for just $1 or $2. Next, all the Chinese exclusive cards. I really hope these go down in price, especially the 151 cards are just so expensive right now. It's kind of wild. You know, we got the Psyduck one here, $635. We got the Mew one here, $690. Like, they're just very expensive to where if they get down to $200-$300, I would definitely love to pick up all of these for sure. And, you know, same thing, we got the Chinese exclusive Evolutions. I'm grabbing those also. Those are pretty affordable right now, but they're not as tough to pull as the 151 art rares and stuff. And even like the Mousehold special art rare is like $250, which is just a crazy price. Arcanine's almost $200. So I definitely want a ton of those cards to get cheaper. And then I'm definitely going to stock up on a ton of them. Especially, I want to jump on it early because, you know, deal with like Japanese exclusives. You want to get them all, and it's just so tough if you do not start right away. And the one thing I really like about the Chinese exclusives right now is there isn't that many of them to where it's actually possible to go get every single Chinese exclusive card right now. Like, it's not impossible at all. If I had to guess, there's maybe 20 of them or something like that. And I really want to get them sooner than later because I don't want to just fall behind and feel like I'm never going to finish the collection because they keep coming out with new sets and new exclusives. But that way, if I do get caught up, it'll be much easier to stay caught up. All right, getting into some sealed Prismatic Evolutions. If stuff drops for Prismatic, I would definitely love more. I have some ETBs that I got that, you know, for good deals and big collections and stuff. I got a bunch of the Pokemon Center ETBs because these were actually easy to order when this set came out. But I haven't really been buying any Prismatic lately just because it's kind of expensive right now. And every once in a while, you can find it in stores. I found a booster bundle not too long ago, which we did open in the car for fun and didn't pull anything. But I love the booster bundles, the ETBs. Those are the two products that I'm going to try to stick to when we're talking, you know, these specialty sets without booster boxes. And then, of course, Pokemon Center ETBs is a no-brainer. But if I do see anything in store, I'm grabbing it for Prismatic. Same thing for 151. So if the booster bundle gets, a decent amount cheaper, I would definitely like to grab some more of those. The regular ETB, I have a good chunk of those already. I would pick up more at like 250. I don't know if it'll ever get down to 250. Probably not for 151. And I also have a good amount of the 151 UPCs. Now the 151 Pokemon Center ETB, I'd love to pick up a few of them at maybe like $500-600. Again, don't know if they'll ever drop that much. Next, we have Pokemon Center ETBs. I've already been buying these anyways, just looking for super minty ones since the market is so expensive. And what's funny is people actually get mad at me sometimes when I talk about how I only want mint Pokemon Center ETBs, but they're just so expensive right now to where I'm only going to buy mint ones. If I'm spending this much money, they're going to be mint. I'm not going to, take $10 off and buy a dented one. Because if I just bought every single Pokemon Center ETB, I'd be spending thousands every single week, which I do not want to do. But yeah, definitely going to be watching all these like a hawk for sure, especially if they get down to like the low 100s. Like if Brilliant Stars gets down to like 125, 140, I would love to buy a bunch of these. And I'm not saying that all this stuff is for sure going to come down in price and everything's crashing or anything like that. I just love to buy when stuff starts to dip. And this happens all the time. I mean, even look at the summer. Greninja, Pikachu, Bubble Mew, they were all like $420 and they all dropped to like $260 to $290 in the middle of the summer. That's a decent drop on some of the most popular cards. So this is super normal. It just happens all the time. I just love to buy during the dips. Like if you would have bought the Bubble Mew at, $280 or whatever it is, you'd probably be pretty happy right now. So this is what I always try to do. But yeah, hopefully a lot of these Pokemon Center ETBs get cheaper because they are very expensive, to be honest. I really want more Destined Rivals Pokemon Center ETBs. I do not have a ton of those at all. I got a bunch of Journey Together. I have a good amount of all of them, to be honest, except Destined Rivals and Black Bolt and White Flare. And I also want a bunch of the Phantasmal Flames Pokemon Center ETBs. I think that is one of the coolest looking ETBs that we have gotten in a while. Next, Sword and Shield booster boxes, Fusion Strike, Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars, Chilling Rain, Lost Origin. These are going to be the 5 boxes that I am willing to buy again, especially if they drop in price, which they are. I mean, Brilliant Stars right now was at $548. Now last sold $488, $492, $480. So that's not bad, especially if we can get some of these back into like the 300s or something like that. I think that's a very, very solid pickup. Same thing with some of the regular Sword and Shield ETBs. I didn't put them on here specifically, but if those come back down in price to where they're like $60, $70, $80 an ETB for, a good looking Sword and Shield ETB from a pretty solid set, not like Vivid Voltage, I think those are very solid pickups also. Next, we are going to the Scarlet and Violet era. So I definitely want more Journey Together booster boxes. This is the enhanced. Was at $264. Now last sold $256, $250. And then also this month, I'm still going to buy probably a bunch of this stuff. It just depends on like what gets offered to me and what I see for deals. And then we also have the regular Journey Together booster box. So I do not have any of these. I only have enhanced ones. But I would love to pick up 4 of the non-enhanced just in case, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. This is just starting to come down in price. It was at $262. Now it's at $252. Surging Sparks. I need a few more of these to where, I am going to be happy with the amount that I have. I was focusing so hard on the Pokemon Center ETBs when Surging Sparks was available that I didn't get a ton of the booster boxes. I only have a few, but I would love to get, maybe another case or something like that. This was at $303. Now last sold $255, $261, $258. And people still like to compare this set to Vivid Voltage, which is just hilarious. Vivid has 1 card in it, and Surging Sparks has a very, very solid set lineup for sure. Next, Twilight Masquerade. This got up to $331. Now last sold $311, $309. I just need a couple more of these, and I'm good on Twilight Masquerade. I got a decent amount. I just want 2 more to finish off the little collection. And I'd buy them at, $250, $225, something like that. If it did get that cheap, I'd definitely pick up a couple of these. Twilight Masquerade isn't the best set, but it does have the Greninja and the Eevee, and there are so many awesome, beautiful cards in the set, too. They're just not super expensive. And I think they have some of the best trainer cards, or some of the most expensive trainer cards in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. Next, Destined Rivals. So I have 6 Destined Rivals booster boxes that I got all at MSRP. And I would like to get a bunch more, as many as I can get, to be honest. This got up to $445 or $455. Now that's sold $380, $389, $395. I do think this is the best mainline set that we got in the Scarlet and Violet era. And if you go back and look, the best mainline set, does crazy numbers. And this has the nostalgia behind it with being Team Rocket. So this is a no-brainer for sure. All right, next we have the Mega Evolution Enhanced Booster Box. So if you guys did not know, I'm getting a sealed booster box case of every new set from here on out. Started with Mega Evolution. I worked out a deal, and I'm loving it. But I'm still going to try to get the 4 loose booster boxes after, to where that way I have my sealed case, and then I have my 4 booster boxes that I can, trade, sell down the road, do whatever I want to do. Maybe give one away for a big giveaway or something. I like to have those 4 loose ones. So I did get my sealed booster box case, and I have 2 loose ones right now that I got for MSRP. So I do need 2 more, and I do not have any of the non-enhanced. I would like to get at least 4 of the non-enhanced, but we will see. Not the end of the world if I don't, as long as I have the enhanced ones, which I like better. You just never know what's going to be reprinted or what's going to be more rare. So same thing with Phantasmal Flames. I'll be getting a sealed booster box case of that, while also trying to get 4 loose booster boxes. I really feel like that is the perfect amount to get of every single set. Of course, not everybody can afford that. Even if you can get just 1 booster box or a couple ETBs, whatever it is, it does add up quickly. Next, the Japanese Glory of Team Rocket booster box. As you guys seen, I already picked up one of those, and I would love to get a bunch more. I have a ton of the Japanese 151 booster boxes, and I got a decent little pile of these, but I'd love to fill like a full tote like I have for my 151, because I just, Team Rocket and 151, you really cannot go wrong. So hopefully this box gets a little bit cheaper, which, it's starting to get a little bit cheaper. Last sold 95, 101, 105. It was at, 130 for a good while. Next, Terrestrial Festival. I think this is a super fun set to open. Actually has good pull rates. You're like guaranteed to get a SAR in every box. So I have a bunch of these. I'd love to get a ton more, especially if they get cheaper. Next, we have the Chinese Gem Pack Volume 3. This has a super cool Gengar Chinese exclusive art rare with, 4 other exclusive art rares. Just be super careful buying Chinese boxes. They are extremely faked right now, so make sure you get them from a legit seller. Last sold on here, 71 with shrink wrap, 51, 53, 67, 85. And same thing with Gem Pack Volume 2. This has exclusive evolutions in it. And same thing with the Chinese 151 booster boxes. I don't have any of these yet, because they were really expensive right off the bat. But I would love to get, at least a handful of each of the 151 booster boxes. To be honest, I wouldn't mind going back and getting, 4 or 5 booster boxes of every single Chinese set that has, some exclusive cards in that box. Because I'm a big fan of the exclusives. And everybody always says in Pokemon they only care about the art. They do not care about the language on the card. So if we do not get these arts in English or Japanese ever, which is a possibility, this is definitely a risk investing into Chinese because it's so new. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm willing to take that risk at least a little bit. I'm not going to buy 10,000 boxes of each. But if I can just get a nice little chunk of each set, I'm going to be very happy for sure. And then, of course, I'm always going to be buying my vintage grails. But these are everything right now in the modern era that I'm going to be keeping my eye on and that I'm going to be hoping drops in price. And then when it does drop in price, a lot of people, they kind of get scared to buy because they think it'll just keep dropping, or they think it will never go back up in price. But when this stuff does drop, you gotta buy it. I feel like a lot of people miss out, and then it goes back up in price one day, and they're like, man, I wish I would have bought that, or I wish I would have bought more of that. So when you see it for a good deal, just pick it up. But alright, that was this Sunday's video. Like I mentioned before, you gotta leave a like, and you gotta comment your favorite fire Pokemon to be entered in this giveaway. And definitely check out that merch. I would really appreciate that. And then also, if you're going to grade with PSA for your very first time, you can click my link in the description and use the code BEARD25, and you receive $25 off your very first submission. So definitely check that out, because grading with PSA and all these grading companies, I feel like it's getting more expensive by the month. But alright, if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Falling Friday, which was a super good one, and you guys have to start watching the Falling Fridays, especially, if you want to pick up some of these good deals, it's going to be a very important video to watch. Click this one right here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.